A lot
Hey, John. Hi.
happened since.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. Yeah, you got the intro.
A lot has happened since the last time we talked, Sean, on the podcast.
Yeah, we spoke last Monday.
It's only been a week,
Yeah.
dude. How this is probably the most my life has changed in 1 week. In my entire life.
You've had rebirths before, but nothing like this.
Nothing like this. Not the to the extreme of this in the short amount of time. I mean, literally overnight. So.
Yeah. How are you feeling? I don't even know. I
Um,
don't even know what to ask you.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I'm in a daze. I'm sleep deprived. It's hard to sleep, and I'm very caffeinated. So I've just been drinking lots of coffee, which I shouldn't. But hey, listener, if you don't know, let's tell a listener what happened. Because the
Yeah.
listener might be like, "Did he fall off his bike?
Yeah. Do
Did he
you
break his
want
arm?
to
What is he talking about?"
do you want to take this one? Maybe like walk us through what happened. So we talked on Monday, and then on Tuesday in LA in Pacific Palisades, a fire broke out.
Yes.
Do you want to take it from there?
Yeah. So we saw the fire at the Pacific Palisades. It got really windy in Altadena, and there's a lot of weather in Altadena. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. And Vanessa said, "Hey, it's getting really windy. Should we go get a hotel?" And I was like, "Why?" And she said, "Well, there could be a fire." And I thought to myself, "Oh, someone who doesn't know LA, a tourist would say something like this because they've been, seeing fires in Los Angeles, and they're." And so it would be like me wanting to get into a bathtub because I hear stories about tornadoes
Uh
in
huh.
the Midwest or something. They're like, "John, what are you doing? Get out of the bathtub." And so I kind of blew it off, minimized it, and said, "There's going to be no fire. It's just wind." And then 2 hours later, there was a fire. And I don't think it was arson. I think this is like a wire. Something happened where it was a electric circuit or something
A
blew.
transformer or something.
Yeah, yeah. And so we saw a fire at a distance. And even when I saw the fire, I thought, okay, let's just go get a hotel tonight. Just grab I just left in sandals, grabbed my phone, my computer, and the clothes we're wearing. And Vanessa did the same, grabbed our daughter, and we just left to a hotel thinking that it'll blow over. And well, it did blow over. Literally
Blew
blew over.
over your house.
Yeah, blew over. And then at 7 a.m., you don't know what's happening. You just know that it's kind of foggy. At 7 a.m., my neighbor George and I decided to go from the hotel, drive back to our house. This is where it gets very surreal. So we're driving up, and we start seeing churches on fire. They haven't burned down yet. They were on fire as we were driving in real time. There wasn't enough people. There wasn't enough firefighters or police officers to do anything because they're all fighting all these fires everywhere. And so it was kind of vacant. It was very kind of like apocalyptic. And so telephone wires down. And again, there's so much smoke. It just looks like fog, right? And you're seeing like, oh, that's the coffee shop I attend. It's on fire right now. And there's a church that's on fire. So as we're going up and up, and there was one police officer who was screaming, you get down, you can't come up anymore. But there's only one guy. So people were just going right around him because they all wanted to check out their houses.
Oh my God.
We shouldn't have done that because it was very dangerous. Things were falling from the sky. Then we got closer to our house, and like every house was on fire. And we were just in shock.
On
And
fire or
then
just like burnt down and smoldering?
no, at this point, 7 a.m. So things were just on fire.
Okay.
Maybe have been on fire for about 4 hours. So must have like really hit like like at 4 a.m. or so.
Wow.
And then I turned down my street, man, and this is we we turned down my street. And I did the video of it. The entire block. I mean, you've been on my street. It wasn't like one house here, one house there. The entire block was by this point, our street was burned down. So as we're going up the hill, we're noticing brand new fires. By the time I got to my house, which is at the top of the hill, those fires have already there's no fire,
Right.
but only ashes. And then we drove to my driveway, stepped out of my car, and you're just numb. You're in shock. Your body's like in a very survival state. and there's like this weird disassociation. Like you can't compute what's happening.
Yeah.
You know, I would assume people who go through anything traumatic have this out of body experience, which I had. And then I walked into my driveway. I saw the ice the ice sponge was still standing, but it was burnt. And dude, from then on, man, I just uncontrollable motion. And it's not that we lost a house, it's that we lost a home.
Yeah.
I started thinking about my, the men's group in the garage. Start thinking about our pomegranate tree that's 100 years old. So you start, and then you're like, oh my God, I have no home. And then I started getting scared because there were fires and there was no one around. George went to his house. He's like fell on his knees. He was like hysterical. He was digging for things. He was looking for a safe. And I said, George, we got to go, man. We got to get out of the car. We got to go. We have to go. Something, bad might happen. So and I had to like literally grab him, put him into a car, and that drive down the hill, which is usually about 15 minutes. Tears and silence, and shock. So yeah, I and then we, and then I was like, how am I going to tell? I'm not going to bring my daughter up here. How am I going to tell Vanessa and Logan? And I didn't have to say anything because they just saw me and they knew. So
Wow.
that was tough. And with a 5-year-old, they don't have the capacity to fathom what's going on. So what's gut wrenching is we explained it to her. You're supposed to be honest, and seems like she understands. But then a day or two later, she'll say like, when are we going home?
Yeah. You have to keep reminding her
that we're not going. That's not our house anymore. We have to find a new house. So,
that's incredible.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Thank you.
Like I've literally been waking up thinking about you and Vanessa and Logan every single morning.
I got to say though, the amount of love, the amount of DMs, messages from friends, also from strangers. This is also something I've never experienced before. So, yes, I've never experienced something like this where your life changes overnight and you just lose your home. But I've also never experienced this much wraparound support, donations. I put up a GoFundMe page just to raise a few grand to get us started, and that thing just blew up. And so, we're going to now help other families and stuff. And I've never experienced this much love, man. So like this human spirit it's just so strong right now. And I think that's what's getting me through the days,
Yeah, it feels like community is the thing that's bringing everybody together.
Yeah.
Keeping people together. Dude, I had no idea how much people loved Altadena.
Oh yeah, I didn't know people knew about Altadena. I know.
Dude, so I'm staying right now in Santa Barbara at my friend's house. I left on Wednesday morning because I woke up and it was like dark over East Hollywood, smoke everywhere. My eyes were itching, and I was like, "This is bad. This is a bad scene. I'm going to leave." Right, and I got Roger and I took off, and I already had packed my truck the night before. And I got to Santa Barbara at a friend's house, and we were just kind of hanging out here. And they also live in LA, but they have a house here. And a family showed up that lost their home in Altadena. 2 kids. I mean, I'm in the house right now. It's just like there's like plushies everywhere and like donations and and they loved Altadena. Like they're like implicated in all. I mean, the kids are in school there. There's like programs. Like they just love their community so much, and all these stories about Altadena are coming out. Sure, there's Palisades stuff also, but that's like a different thing, right?
Yeah,
like,
I think Altadena, the way that it was born, it's really a gem. It's very people centered. I think it was the first kind of area for black business owners and indigenous people. It served the minority very well. So there's a lot of charm to it. It's a pocket that people don't really talk about because they want to keep it kind of their own little oasis.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I guess the only difference is just judging beach houses and assuming that if you live in the Palisades that you are well off, or you probably have. That's probably one of your many homes.
Yeah.
But what people may not know or may not consider is it's the emotional damage. It doesn't matter if you have money or not. Your home is your home.
Well, and that's one of my friends, actually ex-girlfriend from a long, long time ago. Her mom lost her house in the Palisades.
Yeah.
And she was a judge. 30 years ago, she got divorced, and that was the first home she ever bought on her own. And my friend was raised in that house. Or I think it was probably more like 50 years ago. My friend was raised in that house. Like this meant a lot to my friend's mom and to her whole family. There's also a lot of families there that have like that house has been passed down from generation to generation.
Right.
And they're not wealthy. They are now house rich, but they're not. This isn't their third home. It's their only home.
Right.
And there's like what I guess I'm feeling touched by is that everybody who lost a home has a story like this.
Mm-hmm.
You have your story, right? That this was your dream home. You
First home.
Oh my God. Last week, you were talking about how you saw yourself in the Hollywood Hills, right? Looking down on the city and your dream. But you're like, but now I do this in Altadena with my cup of coffee and I'm wearing my slides and I get the same feeling.
Yeah.
Right. You talked about this last week.
I know. It's crazy. I also talked about, the dream is we would knock out a wall and the universe were like, let me not knock down all the walls. Let me give you a good head start, John.
I know. I've been thinking about that too. It's like, well, you tell yourself these things that you try to justify like, well, at least he's going to rebuild. He's going to get the home he always wanted, but like the reality of that is that like, there are thousands of people who are going to want to rebuild. Some of them can't afford to rebuild.
Yes.
Building prices are going to be insane. There's going to be no contractors.
Yeah,
like, I'm just trying to think of logistically the nightmare.
So 5,000 homes went down in Altadena. So imagine the bottleneck at the city, the permits. Also, how are we going to get contractors? And my other fear, and this is what people are thinking about as we start future tripping. There can be big institutions that start buying the land from starting with the elderly, and then Altadena can completely lose its charm and turn it to a very generic, you know what I'm saying, businessy type of place too. So that's could possibly happen. And there's so many things that you have to think about. I still want to rebuild there. I still love that area. But it may not be the same as the years go by.
It won't be. People loved Altadena because of all the old growth and the trees and the orchards, and
they're all gone.
They're all gone.
Yeah.
I guess the silver lining is that it's unlikely that a fire will rip through there again for a while.
Yeah.
But also the landscape is completely changed.
Yeah, it's flat and dark, and
it's like going to be a desert, sort of, right?
Yeah.
Like Southern California is a desert. But Altadena had trees, right? And the Palisades had
the
trees.
Wildlife, the trees. It made it seem like it's more in nature than in the city, and all that is gone. So I haven't been back, but I'm gonna when we go back, it's just gonna feel like driving through a cemetery.
Yeah, it looks like a cemetery.
Yeah, and so it's gonna take years, man. And they'll probably drive in like palm trees that are good size, and they'll probably make it green again. But I don't know. I don't know how long it's gonna take.
Well, I think for sure it will be different. There's no doubt about the fact that it's going to be different. And there's already a housing crunch in LA. Like this is insane what it's going to do to the rental market.
Yeah.
And already people are price gouging, and then there's people going, anti-price gouging. And I was looking for another place. I was going to look for another place, right? I was going to move my storage unit, the other car, I was going to find something in the Hollywood Hills or whatever. That was my plan.
Mm-hmm.
But like, that's not happening anymore.
No.
Right. Like,
and how is it by where you are? I'm assuming it's very smoky and the air quality is horrible.
No, it's fine. Santa Barbara, there was
no, not Santa Barbara before you left.
Oh, I mean, it was a nightmare. I mean, the AQI on Wednesday morning was 450.
Yeah.
That's like, it only goes up to 500 or something. Like it was terrible. Which is why I left. But dude, this is going to change LA in some significant ways, and also probably not change LA at all in other ways, right? Like LA is going to keep trucking. It's got 10 million people.
Yeah, of course.
I've gotten a ton of people saying like, oh, what are you going to do now? Are you going to leave LA?
Yeah.
Right. Like, oh, like I feel so bad about your timing. And I'm like, I don't really feel bad about my timing. Like you can't change this. And
yeah,
I haven't been affected in any really real way compared to people who've lost everything.
Yeah.
So I'm going to stick around.
Good. I want you to stick around.
Yeah.
We're going to stick around too. You know?
You went to the gym?
Yeah, I had to move, man. So I just dropped into an LA Fitness. Just ran a mile. Just moved. The amount of the mountain of to dos, checklists, all important, but then also like managing emotional up and downs. It really is like like a breakup. It's ironic. My book Breakup on Purpose just launched. It is ironic in that it feels like you're going through a major breakup where you're fine 1 minute and then you're sitting on the toilet and then out of nowhere, bawling uncontrollably, and then you're having lunch and you're feeling gratitude, and then half an hour later you feel depressed, and so it's just a kind of an emotional roller coaster ride. Like any kind of grieving process, I guess.
Is this the blindsided breakup?
This is definitely the blindsided. Yeah, I think everyone was blindsided.
Yeah. Yeah. So you got nothing. You didn't get anything out. You thought you were just going to the hotel and you were going to come back in the morning. And
I don't own any. I only have my slides. We went to Target and just bought a pair of tennis shoes, but I don't own it. Man, that's the other thing to think about. Okay, I'm starting over with I don't own a pot. I don't own a coffee machine. I don't own all my collectible mugs that like everything is gone. My motorcycle, so like I just can't fathom it right now. And I think as I continue to live and I reach for, my back scratcher, it's like, oh, I lost I left my wedding band, my watches, all my glasses, like everything that are just everyday things that you use. When you reach for them, you're like, oh, it's gone. Oh, I got it. So there's a lot of replacing to do.
Yeah. Your Rolex collection, the 10 Rolexes that your brother.
Yes. If you're listening, you can't see the wink, but I had a giant Rolex collection. I also had in the garage, and I got to prove this somehow, 3 Ferraris and a Rolls Royce.
And the Bitcoin that I had that you've been storing.
Yes. All of that I have to prove to insurance so they could, rebuild my hello landing, heliport, and all of that stuff.
your 4-story house in Altadena.
Yeah. No, there are definitely caps on all insurance. And also I'm scared that I think it's reaching 60 billion, everything. And I think I'm scared insurance companies are going to go belly up. I don't know.
Is there there's probably also like some fear that like you're not going to get your fair share.
Oh, that's everyone's fear. I think a lot of, the adjuster's job is to give you the least amount of money as possible, I'm assuming.
Yeah. And
so you have to kind of fight for it. I can't imagine the people who weren't insured. I mean, they're literally going to be homeless. I mean, they actually have nothing.
Yeah.
It's very different than getting evicted, where you kind of lose where you're staying and you find something else. When you lose your home, it's all the contents inside as well.
Yeah. All the memories,
cars,
everything.
Yeah, I mean, memories and stuff, but just the day-to-day things, your socks. Like,
yeah.
It's crazy,
the socks
man.
I bought you.
They're gone, Sean. I'm sorry. all 6 pair of the socks are gone. They were in the closet.
Oh man. Wow, that's crazy. It's crazy that you just left thinking that you'd be able to come back.
Yeah, and we kind of have been beating ourselves up in that.
Of course.
Why didn't we go in and take all our, things that are replaceable? Like she has a doll that she's had, a stuffed animal she's had since she was 6 that you can't replace, stuff like
Vanessa.
that. Yeah. And we have no idea how are we supposed to know? And if we're gonna grab stuff, how do you just grab a few things? You end up trying to grab everything, and it's like, where do you even start? There's a ticket.
Where do you start? Where do you stop? Where do you stop? I mean, did you also leave in one car?
Yes, one car.
The Cooper's done.
One car. We just the Hyundai.
Hey, I didn't want to bring it up.
It was charged.
I didn't want to bring it up.
Yeah. One small hatchback, one child, and one suitcase or backpack.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Passports?
passports. The only legal documents we brought, they were just convenient.
Thank God.
Passport. Yeah. So
actually, thank God you have that. Just ID,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Driver's license.
Yeah. It's all.
Wallets.
That's all my phone.
Okay. Fuck, man. What a nightmare.
I also was thinking, what do we do with this episode as far as like, because there's also a part of me that wants to get back to business and wants to, answer questions and do our thing. And then there's another part of me that's like, with where I'm at, shit.
I think we can make this just a fire episode. Is what I was thinking.
Yes,
that was my plan. Yeah. I've got more questions for you. So I showed somebody your video.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the video where like you're sort of panning the garage and you see the cold plunge, you see the fucking motorcycle, and the assault bike, which I'm glad the assault bike burned down. No one likes the assault bike.
Yeah, I would have set that on fire anyway. That was gonna be. I was gonna burn that thing anyway.
I saw the Harley, dude, and it broke my heart. It broke my heart to see the Harley.
Yeah. All the customization, all the the thing about, and I'm sure you feel the same way because you love machines. You create an emotional bond to a machine, like I think you would with like to your horse. At least that's the way it is with my motorcycles. I have an emotional bond. Have had to 6 of them, and so to see just the aluminum, to see it just burnt aluminum can it's crushing because I feel like it had a soul.
Yeah. Also, it's what the motorcycle represents. Sorry, I'm crying over here. I'm mourning the loss of your motorcycle, but I don't think it's that. I think it's just like putting myself in anybody's position when they like walk home and see that everything is gone.
Yeah.
And how
represents your story. Yeah.
Yeah. Funny side note though, I showed my friend that video, and she was, and if anybody hasn't seen the video, we'll link it in the show notes, but John's cold plunge is like unaffected. It's like, it might be a little charred on the outside, but it's still there, right?
What a great promo clip.
Amazing.
For Odin.
Oh, Odin.
Yeah.
And my friend goes, why don't they make houses out of whatever that's made out of? And I was like, oh, ice cold water? That's a good idea.
I think because it's a wood plunge, I think they had very protective, fireproof wood.
I think it's treated, but I think the fact that it's full of cold water, I think probably had a lot to do with the fact that it wasn't burning.
Yeah, for sure. There was water in there. It stood, and it didn't burn to the ground at all. It was still standing.
Yeah. Was the lid off?
Oh, I didn't even check. I think the lid was off.
Maybe animals were drinking,
The what? I don't know.
The amount of like animals that died.
Oh God, it's crushing, man. I mean, because we have bears that come to our house, the parrots, the bears, the bobcats, just squirrels and shit.
Oh, the Petco parrots.
The Petco parrots, yeah, the pet store parrots.
The pet store parrots of Altadena. Dude, it's terrible. I'm also thinking about there must be stories of like people who left to go to the movies. They left their dog.
Oh, right.
They left their dog at home.
Oh, personal pets. So many stories on social media about just people bawling because they lost their pets. Yeah.
Did you see the video of the guy whose pet was like just hanging in the rubble for 5 days?
Dude, can you imagine?
He looked happy.
I mean, some people love their pets more than family members,
Yeah. Well, some people's family members aren't that nice.
Yeah.
So what now?
Jesus, I don't know, man. We're going from here to another house that a friend graciously let us use for a couple weeks, and then from that we don't know. So one of the things that all the families are doing here, we're on our phones constantly looking for short-term / long-term rentals. So I'll be renting a house. I still want to stay kind of close because if I decide to rebuild, I want to be close to the action. But as you know, when 5,000 people lose their homes in that area, I mean, can you imagine the opportunity for people who have houses for rent as far as skyrocketing their rent or whatever? So
it's crazy, but it's also everybody in the Palisades and everybody in Malibu as well. I mean, maybe those people are going to stay on the west side, and Altadena will be more of an east side thing. There probably will be some of that, but it's just a shit ton of people looking. Here's a question I have for you. My friend who I'm staying with, they're in showbiz, and they think that there's just no jobs in LA and people are going to leave LA. How many people do you think are going to just decide to leave LA?
Oh, I think a lot. I used to always joke with Vanessa because LA has gotten really crowded. I've been here my entire life, and I feel like it's my home. So I used to tell her, I think we should have just an earthquake, some kind of big earthquake, big enough to just scare people away. Like, I don't want people to die or anything, but I just want like a kind of like something like, holy shit, we got to get out of here. But this is something like that where I think people will be shaken so much they may not want to live in Los Angeles anymore.
Yeah.
Or can't afford it.
Well, when you were asking for an earthquake, you weren't wanting to be personally affected by it.
Well, that's why I asked for an earthquake. I'm not scared of earthquakes. I've been through so many. Once you've been through the Northridge quake, you're like, dude, these are nothing. And so that's why I wanted an earthquake. I didn't want a fire. And yeah,
how many people died in Northridge?
What?
How many people died in Northridge?
Oh, did they?
I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
Bad, right?
Yeah, that was fucking terrifying.
People died in Northridge.
Yeah, I don't want people to die, but
no,
I just want people to be kind of scared to leave, and then they leave, and the population goes down, traffic gets better.
It's not going to happen, dude. I think that LA is the kind of place where if there's a vacancy, it will be filled. Like,
yeah,
nature abhors a vacuum kind of thing. Like, people will come in. People were saying that about San Francisco. Oh, the tech boom is over. Like, San Francisco's a ghost town. When you leave, people come in. People who were staying near San Francisco, who wanted to be in San Francisco, they filter in, right? Same thing with LA. I don't think LA is this is not even going to make a dent in LA population.
Yeah, there's also that, like, when you date someone, they don't like you want them more. There's a little bit of that with LA, where LA treats you bad, and it's almost a trauma bond. You almost don't want to leave. You almost want to stay a lot more. It's like
you're trauma bonded with LA.
Yes, for sure. Millions.
I've enjoyed my time there. Like, I'm going to stay, and we'll see how it develops. And it's unclear how it's going to play out.
Yeah. Hey, listen, we're still going to execute this retreat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
we're still get more signups. Last week, I put a little intro to our podcast.
Oh, nice.
Because we recorded on Monday, and then on Tuesday you left, and then on Wednesday your house burned down, and then on Thursday the episode came out. But we recorded it before all of this happened, and so I put a little plug in there saying, like, John lost his house. Here's the GoFundMe. If you want to come to the retreat, we have a couple seats left.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
We are at 11. We got one more. Sean and I are capping it at what, around 18, 20?
18 or 20. Yeah. If John takes a while to get back to you, it's okay.
Yes, but if you purchased, you're in, and I'm excited about it. We're going to make it happen. Our chef has to buy some knives. Our chef is starting over, like I am, and so we'll figure out how she's going to prepare dishes and stuff. But it's going to happen. I'm excited about it.
So you were supposed to do a retreat last week, this past weekend.
Yes. Hey, think about this, Sean. We were supposed to do a retreat last week. We would have if we didn't cancel, and then ours would have gotten canceled. So everyone from that retreat, I mean, I think my excuse is pretty valid, but it was understandable. But that retreat got canceled and possibly rescheduled. That would have been us.
That could have been us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what to say about that.
Well,
I'm glad you canceled your retreat. I feel like that would have been kind of a weird place.
Oh, dude, I couldn't have done it. And also, it wouldn't have been fair to them for me to show up in this state and not give all,
Yeah, and have people fly into a war zone. Hey, come on out.
Yeah.
Let's talk about breakups.
Well, and also, Idlewild, I don't know if you knew, because of the winds, they lost power the whole weekend.
Would have been real cozy.
It would have been
cold, dark.
It would have been nightmare. Yeah.
No food. Well, sort of like a Fear Factor thing.
Strangers in Silence would have been the new title of the retreat.
Nice.
Yeah.
Grieving together.
Yes.
Our breakups and more. Yeah, so we're going to do the retreat. Is there some part of you that, like, wants to, like, find some normalcy or some routine Like I feel like losing routine must be so hard.
Yeah, it's one of the hardest things is you have no foundation. So not only do you not have your own bed to sleep in, but you're just kind of going hour by hour, wondering what you're going to do next. All the routines that ground you in our daily life, that I cherish are gone. Like my fitness routine, my ice plunge routine, my sauna routine, my going on my motorcycle to the gym, just coffee shop, all of that stuff is gone. So
yeah, you have
it's
to build.
rebuilding, man.
It's rebuilding, but also like you're going to be in a like transition. And I've been in a lot of transitions, obviously not to this level where I have like nothing, but I've moved around a lot. And so it's so hard to reestablish new routines on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Some people are really good at this. I'm terrible. As soon as I left LA, I haven't worked out. I've been scrolling on my phone. I mean, a lot of people are just like doom scrolling for hours because it's like watching a train wreck. Like you can't not look. Right.
Yeah.
And then I have all these new friends in LA and old friends in LA and everybody's infected. And so it's just hard to maintain routine. I haven't been journaling. I haven't been eating well. Like I've been eating garbage, stuff I normally never eat, like donuts for breakfast. Like it almost kind of feels like we're on like a forced, weird ass apocalyptic vacation.
Yes, there's a lot of recalibration that needs to happen. Your nervous system is dysregulated. You're in survival mode. And everything that you just said, no routine, donuts for breakfast, just yes. And then you feel worse. And so, yeah.
I've been here in Santa Barbara and there's a family here that lost everything. And I've just been trying to be helpful, like take the kids out. I brought the kids to Costco and gave them their first Costco hot dog experience.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And then they did rosebud thorn, And this thing where at the dinner table, you talk about what your rose is. That was like the favorite part of your day. What your bud is, that's what you're looking forward to. And what was your thorn, which is like the least favorite part of your day. And all the kids said was that their rose was going to Costco.
Oh, nice.
And then all day they kept on asking about going to Costco again.
Yeah.
But we're like, yo, what did you like about Costco? And they like couldn't actually explain what they loved about it. They just wanted to go again, which maybe is like sort of the American dream, right? So you get them hooked on consumerism and large format shopping.
I love that that it's about the day, because I thought you were going to say it's rosebud thorn about what happened, and I'm thinking, dude, too soon. I don't want to talk about it, but I love that it just, you're just taking a day at a time, and you're talking about what you enjoyed about the day. What was your thorn? What was I love it.
Do you want to go? Do you want to do rosebud thorn for today? I know it's kind of early, but it's usually something you do at dinner. But
we
could do a morning edition.
With dinner. Without the food, I don't know how much I like the idea, but I think I'm down. Let's do it. Rosebud. Let's start with you.
I'll send you some donuts. I'll send you some. Well, Rose is currently talking to you. Like I've been wanting to talk to you, but also like wanting to give you space because I know that you're like super overwhelmed and and then Bud is kind of getting my Bud is coming back to LA later today.
Oh, you're leaving today to go back?
Yeah, I'm coming back to LA. Yeah.
Okay.
And then my thorn is just like, collective grief that I'm feeling, and also feelings of helplessness. Like I feel actually pretty helpless where I am, and I'm excited to be more of service. I've been of service here, but also this family's leaving, and so we're all kind of like trying to go back to like LA and be of service.
Where are they going to go from here?
They are going to West Hollywood to a friend's condo.
Oh, okay.
For a couple weeks, and then they're not sure.
Yeah, I think that's what's happening.
Yeah.
A couple weeks here, a couple weeks there, until you score something where you pay rent, and then it's more of a like couple months. So.
Yeah. Okay, that's my rosebud thorn.
My rose is this, but more than just this podcast. You, man, the community. Holy shit, Sean! I've never experienced anything like this, and it's the power of social media. Social media can also be addictive, and there's a lot of like the canceling culture and all that things that are dangerous and toxic. But when it comes to this kind of stuff, social media is a miracle. The way and how fast you could connect someone, like, and even like that video I just made, wasn't going to share it. I thought it was too personal. I'm sobbing. It's my house. I shared it as an expression, and the amount of people who, I think it's 3.1 million. It's the most hits I've ever got on the video. Stuff like that, I mean, speaking of fire, social media, word spreads like fire, but in a good way when it comes to support and people really just becoming human. So that is a huge rose. Um, the thorn, I mean, I don't want to be obvious and say, this fire. I think the thorn is all the logistics, right? The things that you can't control. Like I'm so scared about like permits and finding an architect, and I have never built a house before in my life. All the logistics is right now is a thorn. And what was the last one?
The bud is like what you're looking forward to.
Oh, I think it's a little too early, but I shared with you one of my visions on my vision board. I just didn't know that it was going to happen like this. A vision that I've always had was on the same land, which I love that corner cul-de-sac sunset view, to build our dream house. That was always been, and so I'm looking forward to that, even if it takes 4 years. Hopefully not 5 years, but 4 years maybe.
Yeah. Weren't you talking about buying your neighbor's house or something?
I mean, that would, if I can, that'd be amazing. Suddenly commune.
Hello.
Or yeah, the Sean and John like commune. I mean,
Retreat
Three's
space.
Company.
Retreat space.
Retreat space. I mean, who knows?
Sex cult.
Buy the whole block. Yeah, we gate it. Private street. Sex cult.
Sex cult. We got to get in before BlackRock does, though.
Yeah, there's going to be movements in Altadena where they're keeping away. It's called We Won't Sell.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
there's
yeah.
going to be all these movements where we're going to try to band together and not sell, because BlackRock and companies like that will come in and just turn it into a cookie cutter suburbia. Yeah.
Okay, check this out. I'm right now hanging out in a trailer park in Santa Barbara. My friends own a house in a trailer park.
Is it by the beach though?
It's by the beach.
I don't know if you can call that a trailer park.
It's not on the beach, but they're the last house on the block, and then you walk into preserve, like natural preserve. It's really nice. But I gotta say, living in a trailer park for a week, it's kind of nice. It's quiet. Dude. It's safe. Kids are playing around everywhere. The houses are close together, but there's a lot of privacy. They've built privacy. They all have a little outdoor space. Like this might be a piece of the future, right? Where you used to see one house on a piece of land, you're going to see 4 houses or 3 houses, and that might be a solution that people start looking at. Right? Is like we reimagine what a neighborhood looks like.
Oh yeah. Hey, if you're listening, you're a billionaire. Contact us. Let's create a trailer park, our version of a trailer park.
It could be nice.
Nice.
We don't call it trailer park though.
Yeah, we can't call it trailer park.
Community living.
Community living. Yes.
Plus.
Yeah, add that plus. Yeah, who knows? I could see a lot of that kind of community spaces, communes, people going in to buy one house and designing it in a way where multiple friends are living. Oh yeah, I mean, multiple families. The design factors, from someone who's creative, that's a dream, man. To like build something from scratch.
Yeah, but we're not talking about like a condo block, like a big, ugly, apartment building. We're like looking at something a little bit more interesting.
Yeah.
So who knows what's going to happen in Altadena and the Palisades? My God, what a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
Do you want to? Okay, I'm just going to throw this out there. I have a follower who also lost his house, and he left us a voicemail.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah,
I haven't edited this at all, and it's long. It's like 2.5 minutes. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Let's do it.
Hi, Sean. Hi, John. My name is Colin. I'm 57, and I have lived in Altadena for the past 20 years. I don't know how I'm going to do this without notes. I just want to say, John, I'm so sorry you lost your place. I lost my place, too. It's been a crazy, what has it been now? Monday, Wednesday morning. Anyway, sorry. So, I don't know if I can really do this. I just appreciate you guys. Yeah, it's too early to put it out, but here are some key points I'll try to make. reach out to your friends, say hi, say how you doing, say I love you, say do you need anything? I think most of them are going to say like, no, I'm good, or um, I don't know. At least that's what I say to all my friends. I had some people like force some stuff on me, like, here, take this backpack, take this jacket, and that worked. They're like, here, I'm here right now. Here, take it. Um, I have a friend who is really helping me, whose house was not destroyed and was not evacuated, and they are really helping me like make decisions right now because I think it's really hard to make choices and decisions and figure out what the heck you're supposed to do next. Um, maybe anyway, I'm going to go, but thank you for listening. Also, Altadena was such a diverse community, so many black folks and brown folks, and like, I want their like GoFundMe to get amplified, and I want like, hopefully, Sean, I'll like find a resource I can share with you, and you can like put it on your page or whatever. But like, I have a lot of friends. I'm going to be okay. Um, I want the folks that aren't as tech savvy or don't have the friends who are tech savvy. I don't know who these folks are, but I want to make sure they get access to help from the community at large. And I know so many people want to help. So let's work on that one. And John, I'm sorry again. Okay. Bye guys.
Yeah, so I'm glad you played that. It's a snapshot of what I've been experiencing, which is just the human spirit, man. And wow, that's it also puts into perspective what matters in this short life. As my friend Danae Logan says, nothing is promised, and what a great reminder this week that nothing is promised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was really touching about this is that, yeah, you're going to be okay, right? Like your
Yeah.
GoFundMe's killing it. There's a lot of people who are well surrounded, well supported. There's a lot of people who don't have or have no GoFundMe's.
Yeah.
Have really like, hi Logan, nice to see you.
Just can't hear you. I have headphones
on. Yeah, people are not going to have the level of support that some other people do. So in the show notes, we'll put whatever resources that I think that I can put together. I'll take care of that. But also it speaks to like, okay, so people who haven't lost their house, how can they help? Right? Like people are going to want to help. And I kind of felt guilty about the fact that I left and I'm like, oh, I'm in Santa Barbara, even though I'm like I'm helping one family here. Right.
Yeah.
But then I also remember like, oh, that's a lot actually. Like if you are overwhelmed and you don't know how you can help, just help one person. Right?
Hot dog at Costco. Like that matters. What you did, just taking the kids to Costco, that's huge, man.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. That's how we hold hands.
Well, I think the point I'm trying to make is like, if you don't know how to help one person.
Yeah.
Call one person.
Yeah.
Like he was saying, someone gave him a backpack full of shit. Like,
do
something. And like, there are so many different ways of helping. It could be at a shelter. It could be sorting donations. It could be shipping stuff. It could be being an access point or a receiving point for donations. It could be going to the SPCA and grabbing a couple dogs. Like, it could be so many different ways of helping. And also, if you haven't done anything to help right now, it's okay. People are going to need help for so long. And the people who are helping right now on the like quote unquote front lines are going to need relief. Right? Like, we need new bodies coming in, helping in whichever way they can. So like, it's okay if you're feeling overwhelmed about whatever's happening, even if you weren't personally directly affected by this. There are still opportunities for you to help, and there will be opportunities for a long time.
Yeah.
Just pick a thing. Like, people get overwhelmed with like all of the slides and the screen shares and the Google Docs. It's like, okay, just pick one. It doesn't matter if it's the best one or the best use of your time. Just pick something if you feel called to help.
Thank you for saying that. What a great reminder. Yeah, the one thing, it matters. It's okay. It's enough. You don't have to go try to save your entire block.
Yeah. like John is doing?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Got a few families, a couple teachers, gardeners, stuff. I also want to help people who have lost work because of this. So, the person that cleans your pool, the gardeners, like all the, so the list keeps growing. But thank you, Sean. Thank you for just being here as a friend. Thank you for holding this space. Thank you for thinking about us.
Yeah.
I consider you a dear friend now. And of course, none of that has changed. And I'm glad that this is not getting you to ditch Los Angeles.
No. If anything, it makes me want to stay even more.
Yeah.
Because I'm also seeing the community building aspect. Like,
you are officially trauma bonded to LA.
I'm trauma bonded to LA.
Welcome.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about all the people who just recently bought houses.
Dude, the corner person on our block, young couple, paid for a house where I'm like, are you serious?
Well, they paid for the next 30, 40 years. They're like, it's okay. In 40 years, I'll look like a fucking, like a master.
Yeah. So they overpaid. They've only been there for 3 months. The whole thing's gone. But
the family that I'm with here now moved in 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And there are some people who had their entire life savings in their house. Like that was their retirement plan, right? And they were overstretched and they were making it happen and they were so happy to be there. So there's so many stories, right? It's just like one story. Each house has a story. What's your plan today, John?
This is officially my kind of first getting back on the bike and trying to pedal. So I wanted to get this episode out, see your face, connect to you. And then I might I'm gonna have to do my book club. I'm gonna show up for a little bit, and then that's it. I don't think I could. I was on the news this morning. It's almost too much camera time.
Dude, John was on MSNBC. He's drinking coffee. There's like a pile of clothing behind him. It's like so on brand, super perfect. It was really, and it was also a very poignant message, about like trying to live one day at a time.
Yeah.
And maybe even like one moment at a time, 1 hour at a time. Like sometimes a whole day is like, dude, that's a lot to chew off.
Yeah. Thank you, Sean. Thank you for being here. And listener, thank you for listening to this podcast. Even the person that just left a message, just the fact that he's calling in during this time is just mind blowing. I
know. His name's Colin. He's really great. This is someone who's I sort of have been chatting with for years. I didn't even know he lived in Altadena. And he's a search and rescue dude. He left on Wednesday to help with evacuations.
Wow.
Didn't know that he wasn't able to come back.
That's amazing. Yeah.
So just lots of love for everybody out there. And there are some resources in the show notes. We're probably going to, I'm going to try to get this out earlier than Thursday.
Awesome. All right. And whoever's coming will give you a hug on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, that's right. Link in the show notes. John, I love you a lot. Say hi to Vanessa and Logan for me.
Thank you. Love you, brother.
I'll see you soon.
Be well.
Bye.